Hmm. Hey, what's up, guys? T-Seth. Not much to say, really. Is that my notification? Let me check to see if I'm doing all right. So I wanted to. Sweet, I am on there. Let's hope. Let me check it out without screwing around. Not much to say, really. Sweet. All right. Oh my God, I'm on the chat and all that stuff. I'm live. I'm just starting to get the hang of doing this stuff live. I want to watch the stuff that I make, but I have to wait a little bit. So what I normally do is I make the videos like all together. Um, yeah, I write the script to make the videos, and then I find out how long it is. Usually, one game will take three. Sometimes it takes two if there's really not much plot to be had. But lately, it's been taking about three. I'm trying not to put in all the extraneous stuff, but yeah, sometimes I want to talk about things. The in the later games, the games closer to present time, the there's a lot more cinematics, so it's fun to watch those. I like them. As you found in the other lives, for those like three or four people that watched, the cinematic is like, hold on, the cinematic is, wait, here we go. The cinematics are a little bit more sparse, but back then I would just paraphrase the cinematics and then do a voice or whatever, which I kind of like too because it's like smack talking as well. But I want to give credit to the people who are actually doing the voiceovers and people who are making the cinematics. I think they do a good job. So anyway, we're about to watch this video. I have inlines here that are getting a little bit torn up. Like the wheels are. Like you can see here, the wheel is like, oh my goodness, it needs to be rotated out. This one's starting to get a little weird as well. My exercise program just includes a lot of skating, and I teach tennis, so I want to yeah, I want to have fun, and plus I got tons of wheels, so I'm ready. I got my skate tool here, wherever it went. Here it is. My skate tool here. Look, I'll tell you a story before we start, just to kind of warm stuff up. Um, let's see. It shows here I have one view, but I know that's me. Uh, so I got our group got pulled on, like a gun pulled on us. We were going on a night ride. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty cool. It's pretty fun. Um, it's like a 10-mile ride, and the very first street that we were on, there's supposed to be a button that will allow us to cross the street. Like it'll flash the lights, the cars will move, like they'll stop, whatever. But the light didn't work because Atlanta. So our tour guide turns on all the lights on his helmet, and he puts his hand out like this, and tells the car coming to stop. The car not trying to stop, so he tries not to change the speed. It's coming along, and then when he realizes that the tour guide doesn't stop, then he kind of slams on the brakes or whatever, gets all mad, almost hits the tour guide. So the tour guide gets upset, starts banging on the car. You don't do this, you blah blah blah. He's all mad. He slaps the I think he slaps the mirror. That's like his signature move. He rolls up on people, slaps their mirror, he gets all mad and stuff like that. Um, so when he's screaming at the guy's like, "Get out of the goddamn street!" You know what I mean? He's pretty upset. My dude heads around the corner of the car, and then the guy in the car pulls out a blicky from his glove compartment box. Now, I've heard of popping the trunk before. I've heard of, opening up the glove compartment and going, bam, what's up now, man? But lifting the armrest, the armrest compartment, and pulling out a teeny blick. That's what happened. Like, he's like, what the hell? He like lifts his thing up, whoop, like this, reaches in, comes out. He's like, blicky. He's like, and then he goes, get the hell out the street. And then, of course, we all got the hell out of the street. That was pretty much the end of a discussion right there, you know. I'm sure both of them were in the wrong, you know. Well, my tour guide was in the right. I mean, he couldn't have signaled that he was holding the street off anymore. And this dude is all about running over pedestrians, apparently. So, of course, he has reason to be upset. But, you know, the amount of upset he was, and the fact that we live in Georgia and not New York, means that, you know, somebody's going to pull the blick out of nowhere. I've seen it happen way too many times. So the thing that kind of weirds me out is that it was just so like, oh, he's got a gun. We should probably go. I didn't expect the guy to spray us. It's a weird situation. Like, you'd have to be over the edge off of some shit that happened earlier in the day, maybe 15 minutes earlier, for you to be like, I'm let off on these rollerbladers. You know what I mean? It's so dumb. So when he pulled out the gun, I was just like, he's not going to shoot us. He just wants us to be over there now. He wants to go home. Maybe there's some nookie there waiting for him, you know? He's like, I ain't got time for this, you know? But then if I knew that was going to happen, I'd have been a lot happier. Bruh, I'm sorry. You know, but I'm a nice guy, and I don't think I would, if I saw somebody there, I wouldn't almost knock them over. I'd be a little bit more cautious, unless I was, like, having one of those times where I'm reading my phone or something. Anyway, mic sounds nice? I think it is. Let's go ahead and watch it. I think. Oops, that's
what would you do
there we go.
if you had some... This is Yusef for Video Game Plot Summaries, and today we are doing part 3 of Alice the Madness Returns.
Let me put on this mute.
It's tax day in a couple of days, and I don't really want to do it. I really don't want to do my taxes. I'll get it done, but geez. Alice the Madness Returns has really adult themes, so viewer discretion.
I got my taxes done, by the way.
In the last episode, Alice talked to her nanny and got brought to Dr. Rutledge, who basically told Alice that she was the one who started the fire, gave her multiple stories as to how the fire could start, you know, like a cat or whatever. And then Alice lost her mind, and she went into Wonderland to try to make sense of what Mr. Rutledge said, and she fought a bunch of wasps and helped out a bunch of origami ants in a monastery, gets to the top of a mountain, and then talks to the caterpillar that knows pretty much everything. The caterpillar tells Alice that she needs to change just like the caterpillar's changing. And so now Alice has a new mission to try and figure out what's going on with the queen, and obviously stop the huge monster train that's going through all of Wonderland and destroying everything. Who's running the train? What the hell is going on? Anyway, let's go on with the story. So in real life, Alice wakes up in jail. The guards don't keep her long because Dr. Bumby threatened them last time she spent the night.
Coming a regular this, Nick Alice. What's this time, Fred?
Howling outside the old lady, muttering about a murder in Threadneedle Street, cursing insects on the National Railroad. Had to bring her in, didn't I?
Shut, menace to herself. But no danger to others, surely. She don't belong in jail.
Too true, but where then does she belong?
Let's walk her out, Fred. Send her back to Dr. Bumby. He raised holy hell last time I kept her overnight.
Oh, what happened?
Same night Jack Splatter, that waste of mother's love, was nabbed for gutting that heavy outside the Mermaid. Yeah, I was taking Alice down, and we meet 2 coppers walking Jack to the cells. He's mad in the usual I never wrong bloke nonsense when he sees Alice. That's a bit...
I'm gonna back it up a second, but did you know that police officers are called coppers because back in the day their badges were made from copper? So copper badges, they would just call them coppers, not because they called them cops. Like it was. 'Cause that's what, when I was little, that's what I thought. I was like, it's a cop, so they call them coppers. But no, it's the other way around. The police officer had a copper badge. They called them coppers because of the badge, and then after a while, they shortened it to cop. So I think maybe you guys would find that interesting. Let's keep going.
You leech, you maggot.
Bugs and stuff, that would be quite disturbing. I'm sure everybody knows who Alice is at this point, but still. Alice sees her way out. At the door, she sees a cat and falls into the delusion again. Jeez. The caterpillar told her to see the queen, so Alice goes to the meat palace thing like last time. But this time she falls in a pit and ends up in a more appropriate card world. The card stage was another stage, and it has no story, so I don't really have a reason to talk about it, but I have to bring it up because, I mean, look at it. You know what I'm saying? The whole world is a sky world with cards flying around like birds and stuff. And then when you step on specific platforms, they get fulfilled by cards that are just randomly giving you platforms to step on. I mean, it's awesome. It's I've seen this done a couple of times, but here they do it so well that it's, you know, you have to talk about it. You know what I mean? They even use the cards to make structures for you to stand in, which, I mean, is an obvious play. You know, it's great. I can't say much more about it. Then she ends up on Queensland. The cat meets her at the entrance and questions her logic.
Back to admire your handiwork, returning to the scene of the crime.
It had to be done, Cat. You said so yourself. You and this Red Queen cannot both survive. She is a cancer in your body. Excise her or perish.
Well, she was the face of evil in the heart of darkness.
She didn't treat you too well last time. Lost your head, as I recall.
She was completely deranged. You picked up her crown, but now you've put it down. You must speak to her. What's left of her anyway?
Once Alice gets closer to the Queen of Hearts, she starts to deal with the card guard. She runs into the White King, who is played by a really bad voice actor. Either that, or he's trying to act as if he is reading the script for the first time.
The Red Kingdom's in ruins, but you're no better off.
When you defeated her, I tried to reclaim the castle, but I was set upon by her monstrosities. The malignant royal bitch still reigns.
I'm here to petition her. I must get inside.
The only way in is through me. Sacrifices must be made.
Those who say so usually mean they should be made by others.
Cynicism is a disease. It can be cured. Once inside, beware of the outsized killer who patrols her domain. Never confront him. He is invincible. Now, cut me loose. I'll show you the meaning of sacrifice.
Okay. Sorry.
Alice proceeds through the card kingdom with a huge angry jester monster card with a scythe chasing her. Yo, that's kind of gross how he's just kind of like teleporting through the side of the meaty wall. It's a bit much. Here's where you will find a Psychonauts Easter egg of the Rasputin character. I own the game. I should find time to play it. Alice moves through the stage. The further she moves, the more organic it becomes. And Alice runs into another door.
Lizzie hated locked rooms. Her room was further from the fire than mine. Smoke could not have killed her. She never locked her door. And besides, she knew another way out of the house. Out of the window. Someone incapacitated or killed Lizzie, then locked her door, then took the lamp downstairs and started the fire to cover up their crime. Their plan was to kill us all.
I keep hearing Glizzy every
She
time
gets
she
to the
says
garden
Lizzie.
maze, still being chased by that jester monster until she gets to a cake.
I thought we got rid of that dude. Here he comes.
So now it's literally on like Donkey Kong as Alice stomps through the courtyard and all the Queen's defenses.
All right, here we go.
Hey everybody, it's Yusef. I'm just gonna interject here to ask you to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more video game plot summaries. I have fun doing them, I want to share them with you, and I want you to know when they happen. So that's pretty much it. Back to the video. At this point, I went back and looked at the memories that Alice had been collecting, as they are starting to back things up from the big memories from the planet doors. Alice's sister, Lizzie, was grounded once and escaped through the window past 10 p.m. She knows when her parents fall asleep, and then she climbs out of the window, down the trellis and across the tree branch. Lizzie also had an encounter with Angus Bumby, Alice's psychiatrist. They invited Mr. Bumby to tea a lot, and after a while, Bumby became infatuated with Lizzie. He couldn't take it anymore and started getting controlling. Dr. Bumby chased Lizzie into the women's bathroom and grabbed her arm. Lizzie says he has a slimy hand and he is a douche. This was before he was certified as a psychiatrist, not as a douche. Alice goes further and finally catches up with the Queen.
I was expecting someone else.
You don't know your own mind.
It's nearly a complete stranger.
What you claim not to know is merely what you've denied. You've recaptured your vagrant memories. What are you doing with them? You once rejected my attempts to control our lives forcefully. But now you've allowed another to succeed in my role.
I won't miss your tentacles.
You'd prefer the hot, stinking breath and unyielding attention of a potent, unreasoning, unfeeling hellraiser? I don't think so.
Can you give me more than a warning? Caterpillar said you might help.
I'd need a better reason to respond than what's currently on offer.
If you don't, we're all doomed.
Not doomed, forgotten. I may survive here, but you're finished. You see the pattern of destruction. I know you do. Train is trying to destroy all evidence of your past, and especially the fire. Now, who would want that? Who benefits from your madness?
The destruction of Wonderland is the destruction of me.
Indeed, and vice versa.
I've set it in motion. I can derail it. This is good for me. I'm not insane. I didn't kill my family. I am fine. I'm not mad. I'm innocent. I mean, not guilty. What's happening? What are you doing?
The train must be stopped, but there's more to do. Your view conceals a tragedy. The whole truth you claim to see eludes you because you won't look at what's around you. There is no method in this madness.
My professional opinion, madness is often a treatable disease, though perhaps not in this case.
Authority must be obeyed, or it must be overthrown. Cruel to be kind, that's my technique, as they say. But she's as mad as a hatter, poor dearie.
Worst is over, and over, and over. Forget it, Alice. Forget it.
Can't distinguish reality from illusion? Remember your last journey? An elephant never forgets where she left her trunk. When traveling by train, a valise, never bigger than your head. I may be wrong, Your Grace, but I doubt it. Down this path of primordial ooze and sideways.
Indeed, Doctor, well demanded, I'm sure. I mean to say, it's very hot in here. I mean to say, fuzzy. And she's no helping. Oh, no, no help at all.
Humiliation, I say. I approve your release, and back you come like a bad penny. Reputation in ruins. People talk, Alice. I'm an old dog. Ready to bone, don't you know? Loyalty. You must never run away from home. Stay, Alice. Sit.
So, after the Queen chastises Alice for letting Dr. Bumby...
My daughters are back from school.
Heyo. Heyo.
This is Jules.
Hello.
The one on the right?
Isabella, come here. Where?
The one on the right in the avatar. And this is QT, the one on the left. Right?
She's very excited.
You're live, see?
Hi.
I just figured out how to do it, so. Jules has been testing, doing standardized testing. They call it milestones here. You doing all right? How's your brain? Okay. Okay.
Let me see. I can't do it.
Oh my goodness. They're trying to destroy my place.
That's why I said that.
Anyway.
Where my glue stick went.
Yeah, you threw the glue stick over behind the table?
We don't want to hear you make
QT, yeah, QT's in a noise sounding phase.
What's that?
It's Listerine.
Why?
Because it kills germs that cause bad breath, plaques, and gum disease, and it cleans things pretty easy.
Oh, I thought you were over here.
No, I'm changing out my wheels.
Nice. Wait. I'm grabbing my tablet. Why are they
All right, I'm gonna continue the stream.
They're so little. They're like little.
They are little. I don't know why they're so small. Anyway.
Alice wakes up in the insane asylum. She starts to recall the brothers Tweedledee and Tweedledum and the nurse using a bunch of hacky psychiatry methods to wake her up.
The instruments are gruesome, but a hole in the head gives the troubles more space.
This is editor Yusef, and regular Yusef writing the script saw that the end was coming close and started talking a lot faster. But there's some things that we need to appreciate. Well, I like to appreciate anyway. Now, in this whole stage of Rutledge's insane asylum, Alice goes into these rooms, and when she has the memories, the rooms are kind of messed up on the back end, which I think is pretty cool. Here, because the memory is about her having holes screwed in her head, the room changes.
Sorry, the question was just asked why Alice is locked up. So Alice is, she goes off in Wonderland, right? So when her parents got killed in a fire, she got out of it and went into a coma. But then somewhere in that coma, like halfway, she'd been out for, I think, 8 years. And then...
It's a long time.
It is a long time. And while that time went along, about halfway through there, she woke up, but she was still in Wonderland. So she would go back and forth in Wonderland, meaning that she was actually talking to people as if she was in Wonderland. So if I was talking to you, but I'm in Wonderland, I would think instead of you being Jules, you were basically like a caterpillar or something. Mm-hmm. That's her caterpillar pantomime. You okay? Your hair's done so tight you can't do caterpillar moves, huh?
Yeah, because I got this stuck here and I pulled my hair. My hair was so
Yeah, so now that she's out, she's still like going back and forth in Wonderland. She's supposed to take meds. Bye, QT. She's supposed to take meds to get better, but when she gets the money for the meds, the nurse comes and takes her money. So she just basically goes back and forth.
So she basically says, hi.
Yeah. Like the cops found her, and then they said she's basically yelling at cockroaches and stuff. So
He's doing the dance move. Look at the dance.
Anyway, let me continue this.
I think it's pretty cool, if not really gruesome.
Some mental conditions are relieved by bloodletting. Doctor thinks it won't be effective against your symptoms, but I am at the end of my tether, and these leeches need the work.
A baker's dozen, nurse. Let me put them on her.
No, me. I can make them hurt.
And here, right before the bloodletting scene, it switches to a room that has a bunch of little bloody spots all over it where they would have put the leeches. This room is really interesting. It has the room split up in two where Tweedledee and Tweedledum are in reality and from Wonderland. And in both of the areas, they're all talking exactly the same. They're saying the same things. Pretty interesting.
If I can't...
Go to the lavatory.
Maddening.
Yes, you are. But what am I?
I'll give
A
you...
present? You shouldn't. I've nothing for you. I defer to your enormous arse, your worship. Just a coxcomb, a catacomb, a Felix feline.
What cat? Where? Is the fox among the pigeons? Slide.
Then she has a vision where everyone is giving her advice. Bumby wants to trade his train for the Queen of Hearts so he can remake Wonderland. The nurse wants money for getting Alice out of Rutledge Insane Asylum. And the nanny wants Alice to leave Wonderland entirely so she can move on with her life. And Mr. Radcliffe thinks that she is still unstable and violent. I mean, she is. But he's also trying to cover for Dr. Bumby, who is obviously the one from Alice's fire memory. Alice transitions to the next part. And as she walks through the fog, she runs into a doll that asks for help before it dies.
Help, Alice! We need your help! Don't desert us! Again, don't ignore us!
Why do you suffer? The Queen's tyranny is just a memory. She has no power over you, does she?
Our enemies come and go, but now a new evil reigns, and this fiend's malevolence has eclipsed the conquered queens.
She goes into the doll world to investigate and finds a bunch of them barricaded in a dollhouse.
The unstable are more than merely mad. They have other parts. The doll maker will deprive them of what remains of their deranged souls. They need care.
I know their pain. I would assist, but is sanity required for the job?
A limited quantity. You're like them. Of them, in a way. But not them. I should say not us. For I'm them, but you're on your way. The way is clearly marked.
I believe I know that way, and I'd rather not travel further along it.
He's here, you dimwit. Get inside.
After dismantling the scissor doll, Alice searches through the doll world. It was like 5 episodes on my Let's Play channel. It's a really long stage. She finally finds the last door.
I had a role in my family's demise, but I did not start the fire. Centaurs don't live in Oxford, but a certain doctor did. I saw him, a preening undergraduate. Now I remember him. That key belongs to Lizzie's room.
The key is appropriately named Venus. She is the goddess of desire. Can you lock room doors from the outside? Is that a feature that parents would use if they aren't abusive? Anyway, now that all is revealed, Alice still needs to see the doll maker to find out what his problem is. She platforms through the doll factory until she runs into a familiar face.
Am I not the most wretched and selfish of fortune's fools? Oblivious, I live in a training ground for prostitutes. My mentor is an abuser and purveyor. I've been complicit with my sister's murderer and the killer of my family as he corrupted my mind. I sought relief from my pain and you turned me away from the truth.
You are almost there, almost free from what you fear. You could have been cured. You could have forgotten.
Abandon the memory of my family.
They are dead, and you should be too.
You misbegotten abomination! Murderer! You blood-sucking parasite! The damage you've done to children! The abuse!
I provide a service. In the great and awful metropolis, appetites of all sorts must be gratified.
My family! My mind! The infernal train!
The train is your invention, your defense. I merely set its schedule and itinerary. The train is coming with its shiny cars, with comfy seats, and wheels of stars. So hush, my little ones, have no fear. The man in the moon is the engineer.
I'll stop that train, if it's the last thing I do.
As you wish, it will be. You're lost, and where your body is, your mind will follow. Perhaps it's already there.
So Dr. Bumby hypnotizes the kids and then puts them out for prostitution. The nanny made mention of it way at the beginning of the damn game.
Gone off some lurkers, common as cockroaches. And those poor tykes are food for perverts, like the blameless ants that wasps consume or spiders' feeble prey.
But for real, this accusation came out of nowhere. He was trying to turn Alice into a prostitute? I mean, it makes sense. He can break her and manipulate her even further. Everyone is part of this ruse, though? Even the nanny? That's a rough one, but it makes sense. The nanny had a brothel. I don't know. I've played this game a bunch of times and I didn't catch that part. I always thought that Alice was the only one being manipulated and everyone just wants her inheritance. When the twist happened, I was so ready for the game to end, I glazed over the seriousness of this ending. Anyway, Alice confronts Dr. Bumby IRL at the same time she confronts him in her mind.
You oozing sore of depravity! Children wearing their names around their necks as if they're breeding livestock.
A declaration of their pedigree. You could use one. They're proud to display their provenance.
You brute! They can't remember who they are or where they're from. How many minds have you twisted into forgetfulness?
Not enough. Yours would have been a triumph. Still, you're an insane wreck. My work is done.
So she's on the Doom train in her mind and is at the train station. The scene cuts back and forth. I'll just play them straight through.
Hatter, I must stop this infernal train and the evil force that drives it.
Everything's a nail, is it, Miss Hammerhead? First it was all search, freighted with fear and fragmented memories. Now it's the train. Never time for tea. While your brain's on holiday, we're ruined. Now we're all mad here. And that's a good excuse for going to hell in a teapot, but not for forgetting what your senses saw. Forgetting is just forgetting, except when it's not. Then they call it something else. I'd like to forget what you did. I've tried, but I can't.
You've used me and abused me, but you will not destroy me.
No, the damage is done. The old Alice and her Wonderland retreat are demolished. You can't even recognize what's happened, and you're powerless to change it or move against me. I've made certain of that.
Come to receive your punishment, then?
I know I'm guilty of something, but punishment never suits the victims of the crime.
Abuse is a crime the strong visit on the weak. You're right, abusers are insufficiently punished for the damage they do. Those who witness abuse without seeking retribution for the harm pay a penalty. Your own pain mitigates your failure to act earlier, but you may not yet have paid enough for witnessing the pain of others.
You corrupted my memories, but you failed to make me forget.
I could have made you into a tasty bit. Clients out the door waiting for a piece from a raving, delusional beauty with no memory of the past or no sense of the future. But you wouldn't forget. You insisted on holding on to your fantasies. You're mad, like your sister.
Don't speak of her. You didn't know her.
Your sister was a tease, pretended to despise me. She got what she wanted in the end.
My Lizzie, what is this train's destination?
Madness and destruction. You shouldn't ask questions you know the answer to. It's not polite. And that noise wasn't Lizzie talking in her sleep.
Oh, no. Poor Lizzie.
And there are no centaurs in Oxford. Make your survival mean something, or we are all doomed!
So the final boss is the doll maker, aka Dr. Bumby. He's not too hard. Alice has so many tools at her disposal, and it's been a long game. So that's your plot summary. Here is the ending.
I'll see you charged. In prison, some half-wit bruiser will make you his sweetheart, and then you'll hang.
Indeed, a hysterical woman, former lunatic, roaring outrageous accusations against a respectable social architect and scientist. My God, Alice, who would believe you? I scarcely believe it myself.
You, monstrous creature. Such evil will be punished.
By whom? By what? Psychotic, silly bitch. Your madness will be punished. Now leave. I'm expecting your replacement.
That was weird. I think it's a little difficult to figure out what's real and what's not. You know what I mean? Like, did she really kill a dude or what?
She really killed it.
Did she kill him in her head?
I think she killed him.
Ah, Alice. We can't go home again. No surprise, really. Only a very few find the way, and most of them don't recognize it when they do. Delusions, too, die hard. Only the savage regard the endurance of pain as the measure of worth. Forgetting pain is convenient. Remember.
So the origin of the Mad Hatter is in like the 1900s or the 1800s. They like made like hats, and there was this like toxic chemicals. They used to dip the hats in that barehanded, not wearing gloves, and eventually the chemicals got into their brain, and then eventually they became mad crazy, and then they called them Mad Hatters. Yeah.
Wait, so what does the hats have to do with it?
They made hats, and they dipped the hats into the chemicals barehanded, and then it went into their skin to their brain, and they went crazy.
It was acid?
It was like acid or like chemicals or something, so that the hat doesn't fluff up very easily.
At what point did their hands turn into skeleton hands?
Well, not skeleton hands. More like their hands got very small and like skin wrapped.
Okay.
So like the blood left their hands, and the like toxic blood went into their brain, and then they went crazy.
All right. Okay. Get your homework done.
I don't have homework.
Yeah, you do.
I just use it as an excuse.
No, get out of here.
I don't have homework.
Bye, Jules.
I
I'll see you later on today.
I don't have homework. I'll see you later on today. I don't have homework.
We gotta finish the thing. Okay. So there you go. That's
Origin of the Mad Hatter.
the Mad Hatter thing. Make sure you charge that, okay?
I thought you said it was fully charged.
Check it. All right, let's finish this up.
Agonizing. But recovering the truth is worth the suffering. And our wonderland, though damaged, is...
I'll see you charged. In prison, some half-wit bruiser will make you his sweetheart, and then you'll hang.
Indeed. A hysterical woman, former lunatic, roaring outrageous accusations against a respectable social architect and scientist. My God, Alice, who would believe you? I scarcely believe it myself.
You, monstrous creature. Such evil will be punished.
By whom? By what? Psychotic, silly bitch. Your madness will be punished. Now leave. I'm expecting your replacement.
She killed him and then got the key.
That's Jules from way back when I played the game.
She knew what to do.
Well, that was weird. I think it's a little difficult to figure out what's real and what's not. You know what I mean? Like, did she really kill a dude or what?
She really killed it. I didn't
Did she kill him in her head?
I think she killed him.
Ah, Alice. We can't can't go home again. No surprise, really. Only a very few find the way, and most of them don't recognize it when they do. Delusions, too, die hard. Only the savage regard the endurance of pain as the measure of worth. Forgetting pain is convenient. Remembering it, agonizing. But recovering the truth is worth the suffering. And our wonderland, though damaged, is safe in memory for now.
Crazy ending. So my kids were with me for the majority of this playthrough, but they were super young, so they didn't understand what was going on. Thank goodness. I was a little confused with what was going on with Dr. Bumby. Maybe Alice scared him for a second. It's hard to interpret what happens when Alice is bouncing back and forth like this, but I think that is the point, because they would want to make a trilogy. Did she have a psychotic episode and push the real Dr. Bumby into a train? Or was the culmination of her regaining control of Wonderland empowering her in the real world to be the Alice in real life that we were playing in Wonderland? The one that has no problem dealing with her enemies with knives and guns? Did we just witness the beginning of a split personality? Tell me what you think in the comments. I would really like to know, like for real. As for me, I'm a little spent with the ending of this one. And thanks to y'all for riding with me. It means a lot. Anyway, like and subscribe. Peace.
All right, there we go. Well, this live will still be up afterwards, but I'm going to go ahead and release the non-secondary commentary version, the one without my kids and everything like that, which, you know, that means you'll miss the story of the Mad Hatters getting infected by hat juice. Anyway, thanks for joining me, for whoever came through. 6 views, so I'm happy for that. That's thanks. Anyway, bye.